Good morning and welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another Monday morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. Happy to have you guys with me. Thanks for following. Hope you guys are liking and subscribing to this. You know, the message I bring is whatever's on my mind that day, whatever I'm dealing with at work, all the BS that I got to deal with. And, you know, I love when I have a good plan. I love when a plan comes together. But what happens when you plan and everything falls apart? You know, we struggle with putting everything in place, trying to make sure everything is going to work out. We sit in our war room. We talk about a job. We talk about how it's going to play out, what we're going to do, each side of the building, how we're going to paint it, or the interior, how we're going to attack it and what we're going to do. But what happens when that plan falls apart? Everything's going sideways. We do work for a lot of general contractors. What happens when they come in and say, oh, I need you to do this first and this first, but that doesn't coincide with the quickest, easiest way for us to perform our project? One thing I've realized over the years is a lot of these superintendents for these general contractors is they were previous tradesmen as well. They did one thing. I met one the other day who is an electrician as a trade. Doesn't know anything about anything else. He knows how to read blueprints. And I kind of looked at him. I said, how are you running this job when you don't know painting? You don't know framing. You don't know all this other stuff. You're an electrician. But he knows how to read blueprints, and he got a little offended by it. But the way I look at it is he knows a little bit about everything. But it's our job to educate these people out there on what we're going to do, how we're going to attack it, what the best plan is. But when we plan and things start falling apart, the question is, how are you going to react to that situation? What are you going to do in that situation? Are you going to react and get upset? Are you going to be able to adapt to the situation? You know, it's not just a job, it's an adventure sometimes. We have to figure out what we're going to do, and we have to think 10 steps ahead all the time. When I walk into a project and I'm checking on my guys and I'm looking everywhere, I have to see everything in one glance. I have to see what the other trades are doing. I have to see what my guys are doing. One habit I have is I always look at the floor first. It's been something I've been doing for years. And what I'm looking for is paint drips. I'm looking for a mess. I'm looking for problems that we might have created as a company, because I want to address my issues first. A lot of times these superintendents and these other contractors, they will see something, but they're not going to say something. And what I mean by that is they'll see a drip, they'll see a mess, but they're not going to say anything till the very end. Because what we do on a lot of these projects is we try to get a time and material ticket or a change order ticket towards the end for extra work or damage because of other trades. And the superintendents let that go because they know if I'm going to do it, the other trades are going to do it. And if they can get the floor guy to backcharge me and then I can't backcharge somebody else, it all washes out somehow. So I want to make sure that our job is at top peak performance. I want to make sure we're doing it exactly the way we're supposed to, exactly the way it's meant to be. I want to make sure we are on target for what we're doing. But when that plan starts falling apart, how do we react to it? Are we going to be logical? Are we going to think and stay calm, or are we going to get emotional and get upset? Now, there's been times where I've walked in at a unit that we're doing, and all of a sudden I got cabinet guys leaning stuff against the walls. I got electricians leaning their ladder against our finished walls, and they don't see a problem with it. They don't care. It doesn't affect their job. But what they're doing is they're causing damage to ours. Now, we'll take pictures. We'll document it, so when there is a back charge for excessive touch-up or excessive cleanup due to other trades, we have backing for this. Now, there's been times, I remember a job we did many years ago, and it seemed like nobody was listening to me. Everybody kept their stuff leaning up against the walls. Everybody just disregarded the paint job. And so I went in one of the units where there's an electrician, a drywaller doing repairs, and a cabinet guy. And I started taking everything that was leaning against the walls and just slamming it on the floor to make a point. Guess what? After that, they weren't putting anything up against my walls. They threatened to backcharge me if I broke anything. And I said, don't worry, because it's not going to be near as much as the backcharge I'm going to give you for the damage you're doing to my walls throughout every single unit that we're painting. And it changed. Now, was I angry? No. I just looked at the situation. I thought, I need to do something drastic. I need to show some emotion so they understand that I'm serious, because I was very calm through the whole situation. And calmness wasn't getting me where I needed to be. So I reacted in an irrational way to make sure that they understood my point. Even though it had no effect on me mentally or my stability or my emotions, it was just a reaction to make a point. But how many people do you know out there that they get in those situations and they lose their cool, they blow up, they don't know how to remain calm? How do you deal with those situations? What are you going to do in that instance of dealing with someone that's just losing their mind over something so simple? You know, we all have to work together. We all have to get along on a job sites. We need to work around other trades. And I find a lot of times that when we communicate on a job site with the other trades, we get so much more. We get so much farther than dealing with the superintendent or the general contractor. We actually get stuff done because us trades know how to work together. The superintendent and that contractor, they're just trying to push through. They're trying to get something done. They're trying to complete it on time, ahead of schedule. And it doesn't always work out that way. Surprises me how many superintendents out there or contractors tell us, oh, you need more manpower. You need 10 more guys out here. We got to get a jump on this. What they don't realize is adding more manpower is not always the most efficient way to do things. Sometimes adding more manpower slows down the process. If he's telling that to every trade, and let's say there's 10 trades in there, and each trade brings one more guy on the job site, and we're doing a small restaurant, can you imagine there's already 10 trades in there, and you added 10 more guys on the top of the 2 for each trade? Now you got 30 people scrambling all over the place, bumping in each other. No one is being productive at that point. It's time to slow down. It's time to be rational about this and think about it. Let the emotions go out the door. You got to think logically. And that's the problem with most people nowadays. They let their emotions take over. They let them control the decisions that they're going to make. So when you walk into a project and you have these situations, remain calm. That's the best way to handle it. So working under pressure, how does working under pressure make you better at your job? The way I look at it is if I'm constantly pushing, I'm constantly grinding, I'm trying to better myself, and I can work well under small pressure, under little mistakes, little problems, and they get bigger and bigger, I eventually build up to it. It's just like right now with my task of walking, and I'm wanting to do this 800-mile walk that I'm training for. I'm trying to get myself better each week. Saturday, I walked 15.2 miles. Sunday, I did 15.8 miles. I'm trying to push myself. And that endurance, as I continue with this, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better at this. It's the same thing in a job site, working well under pressure, working well under the stress. As you learn from this, you get better every time. Because I guarantee you, the more stress and more pressure you deal with on a job site, the easier these things are to deal with as time moves on. It's going to be easier. I talked to someone this weekend, and he was telling me how his email got hacked and how it put so much pressure and stress on him the whole week, and it kind of screwed things up for him. But yet I said, well, who fixed it? Oh, I called my IT guy, and he fixed it. But I had to deal with some phone calls from some contractors. I'm like, and that screwed up your whole week? I deal with that in 10 seconds, and I'm over, and I'm on to the next thing. So if we can learn to deal with these things, learn to adapt to the issues out there, everything's going to start hitting you, and it's a piece of cake. You just find ways to get through each situation. I'm not going to let a little situation like that affect me. I had a situation a couple weeks ago where we had a fraud check thing at the bank with the company, and it was a check I wrote to one of my vendors because at the bottom of the memo, it had stamped their information, but whoever got this check, they changed the number, they changed the name, the dollar amount, and fortunately, within 2 hours, we had the money reversed. It wasn't a big deal, and the bank's going after the people that did it. But we believe it was inside the vendor's company that somebody did this. 2 hours later, it's over with. I'm done. I got my money back. I'm not going to let that ruin the rest of my week. I'm not going to think about that. But now, the next time it happens, I know how to deal with this a little bit faster. I'm going to get better at those situations. I'm going to get better with dealing with the stress and the problems. So how you react to a situation on a job site is going to define you. It's going to build you. It's going to make people look at you differently when they see that you're in control all the time. And staying in control is difficult sometimes. Inside, you might be losing it. You're probably worried. You're stressed inside your head. You can't let that be on the outside. You can't let people see that. You got to stay in control. You got to look like you've been in a situation 1,000 times before, and you're going to handle it again 1,000 times more. And they're going to look at you as a leader. They're going to look at you and say, man, this guy can handle anything. He's on top of his game. Boy, that situation, that didn't even faze him. I don't know how I would have dealt with all that. But it's taken years of dealing with little situations to build up to this, to get to this point. And you can do it too. But you put yourself out there and you put yourself in these situations and you deal with it and you move on. The situation is not what's going to define you. It's how you handle the situation that's going to define you. How are you going to get through this problem? How are you going to get through this situation? What are you going to do to better yourself or better everybody around you because of the decision you made to handle that situation? You have to step up. You have to be strong. And you can't get up in your head. You can't worry about it. You can't overthink it. Make a decision, move forward, and stick to it. I'm telling you, sometimes the best decisions I make, and I get through it the easiest, is when I make a split-second decision. I just run with it. Okay, this happened. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go. 9 out of 10 times, it works every time. And it's being able to adapt that quick and that fast that has put me at the top of my game when it comes to making decisions within the company. Now I'm training people under me to do the same thing. I've trained the person under me. He's training the person under him. We're becoming more solid in numbers as we're all learning to get better at doing these situations. It's interesting. My project manager here recently, the last couple of weeks, everything is clicking for him. Everything is running so smooth. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be this easy. It's getting easier every day I do this. The decision-making is coming faster. The decision-making, the problems, I'm able to handle them so much faster and smoother and easier. And how many of you out there have been in a situation, and I've seen it time and time again in my own company, that we move somebody up to a crew leader, to a superintendent position, and right before they're about to make it, they quit on themselves. It gets too tough. It's too hard. Right when we knew they were on the verge of getting better, and they're about to cross that threshold of handling everything, but they crumbled. I've seen it happen time and time again. And if they would have just waited another week or another couple days, or maybe it was just a month, we see it. They're on the verge of being so successful. And they just, I can't do this. I want to go back to my regular job. I want to just, and we'll tell them, hey, stick with it. It's going to get better. No, I've tried. I've been doing this for a month. I can't handle this. A month? That's all you're giving it? And you're quitting on this? You want to go back down a position? Because the odds of you moving up after that are going to be slim to none. There is a chance you can come back from that, but it's rare. So my recommendation is stick with it. Keep challenging yourself every day. Don't show weakness. Challenge yourself to be better. How do you know what you can handle until you put yourself in front of it? How can you know what your true breaking point is until you actually break? I'm going to push myself because I'm telling you right now, it's my mind I have to convince, not my body. Our mind is our worst enemy. Our mind is what's going to break us. Our mind is what tells us to quit. Our mind is what tells us I can't. And you can't be like that. You have to convince your mind. You have to convince yourself, I can and I will not quit. I will keep pushing. I will keep grinding. I can do this no matter what. That's what you have to tell yourself. And if you can convince yourself that, then you can do it. It's no different than the drug addict or the guy living on the streets or the guy coming out of prison or the guy that can't get a raise or says he can't find a job. He says, I can't. No one's ever counted on me. No one ever believes in me. You have to start with yourself. You have to count on yourself. You have to believe in yourself to make it happen first. If you don't believe in yourself, if you can't count on yourself, how do you expect anybody else to? You have to believe in yourself first. If you can't, how can you expect anybody else to? Well, no one gave me a chance, John. I don't know what to do, and I don't know where to go. Quit with that. Get that vocabulary out of your mind. Believe in yourself. I can do this, and I will do this. That's what I'm going to tell myself every day. It's a struggle coming to work sometimes. Today's a struggle. It's Monday. I think we had 6 people call out today or not show up. They're sick. There's issues. There's everything going on. Everybody's got the flu right now. It's crazy. But we're going to push. We're going to grind, and we're not going to stop. I will not quit, and I can do whatever I put in front of me. It's going to happen. We're not going to stop. We keep pushing, we keep grinding, and we keep moving forward. You have to. That's what a leader does. If you want to be a leader, you have to continue to move forward. You have to continue to push in front of you. You cannot stop what you're doing. You have to continue and move forward, period. There's no other alternative. You can quit, you can give up on yourself, but where are you going to end up at? Right where you started. Let's get past that. If I find the tallest mountain, I climb that, I'm done, I'm at the top, I'm looking for the next tallest mountain. I'm looking for the next challenge. That's what you have to put in front of yourself. You have to put something bigger in front of you every time you accomplish your goals. That's what a leader does. That's what a successful person does. Putting obstacles in front of them, putting challenges in front of them after they finish each one that they've just accomplished. You can do this. It's you versus you. It's me versus me. It's not you versus me. There's nobody going against me. It's me versus me in my own head. That's who I have to convince. Same with you. It's you versus you. That's the only thing out there. And the only person stopping you is you, that doubt in your mind. So get past it, find a way to work through this, and you will be successful. Period. That's how it works. You just have to convince yourself. It's all upstairs. And you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I guarantee it. I'm going to tell you, I believe pressure is a privilege. And what I mean by that is it is a privilege to have pressure in your life, to have pressure in front of you to challenge you to become better. It's a privilege to have it pushing you nonstop to become somebody better. It means every day you're improving. If there was no pressure in your life, you never grow, you never expand, you never get to the next step. You have to have something pushing you. You have to have the pressure of life. You got bills, you got kids, you got a spouse, you got your job, you've got a challenge. You're playing on a sports team. There's that challenge of playing the other team that's so much better than you. That's pressure. Take that as a privilege of something that's going to push you to become better. I always want to expand on what I'm doing and get better. And when there's pressure, I embrace it. I embrace the challenge. And if I fail at what I'm doing, I embrace that too. I look at failure as an opportunity to learn and to grow. Because the only way you're going to grow and get somewhere is by failing. And you learn from those mistakes and you grow from it and you get better from it. Not everybody's perfect. You are going to fail. Well, John, that's messed up to tell somebody. No, you're going to fail. You're going to screw up. You're going to make a mistake. I do every single day, and I learn from it every single day, and I better myself every single day from every single mistake that I make, every failure I make, and I learn from it. This last year in my business has been a major challenge for me. Financially, growth-wise, everything. It's hard growing. It's hard putting those challenges in front of you. It's hard hiring so many people. And then it's hard firing so many people when you realize you grew too fast and you got to take a step back before you grow again. That's what we had to do. It was a major decision that we had to make. We sat down, we talked about it, we made some changes, and here's how we're moving forward, and we're going to grow from this. We are doing more work with less people right now than we were last year. And the profits are shooting through the roof. We look great on paper right now. We're making up for some of the losses over the last few months. And because of the excessive labor that we had and the excessive, lack of performance from the guys working for us and the girls working for us, it was terrible. We made some mistakes and we're going to learn from it and we're going to grow from this. We will become better because of this. So I embrace the challenge. I embrace the privilege to have failure. And it sounds crazy, but that's what helps you grow. You have to do it. You have to go through it to understand it. If somebody gave you everything, let's say everything you ever wanted, you had it here, you can the house, the car, the money, just had it. Would you appreciate it? Some of you out there say, oh yeah, I want that. But it wouldn't be worth anything because you didn't embrace the struggle to earn it, to get it. It would mean nothing to you. And then when you lost it, it'd still mean nothing to you at that point. That's why when I lose something or if I lost money on a job, it means something to me. It means more to me than anything because that's mine that I lost. because I earned it to begin with and now I lost it. Now I have to earn it again. That's the struggle of understanding what it takes to get what you deserve, what you earned. If everything's given to you, you never learn to appreciate anything. Just like a kid, you spoil the crap out of him. You give him everything for Christmas, everything for his birthday. You know, they say only childs are spoiled the most, and you know, you can't spoil your kids. You have to get them to understand what it's like to earn something. Give them allowance, give them chores to do. Start them young. I think that's one of the mistakes we've made over the last generation or so, that we're not raising our kids to understand what it's like to earn something. I get a 20-year-old kid walking in my office telling me he wants $50 an hour and he's been painting for a year. Or he'll say, oh, I know how to paint. I did my mom's house and painted a bedroom. They don't know what it's like to earn. They don't understand the struggle. Embrace the struggle. Embrace the fact that you have to learn and you have to earn. You have to earn and you have to struggle. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. We have to get back to the basics. We have to embrace the basics of everything. Something's missing lately. And I think what's missing is the challenge for people, or they just want everything given to them. You know, I think there's a commercial out there, your way, on time, my way. I can't remember. It's something, you have it your way every time, whether it's a burger, whether it's anything. And the way I look at it is you have to be able to go out there and create consistency. And you have to be able to go out there and you have to learn to earn it. You have to struggle to get what you want. You can't get it your way every time. It's impossible. And we think that's the perfect scenario. Oh, it's going to work out every single time. It doesn't work out every single time. It's a struggle most of the times. But if you can learn to embrace it, if you can learn from these struggles, you will become better from this. I guarantee it. The next time you're in a struggle situation, the next time you're having problems, the next time you think the pressure's too tough, I want you to ask yourself, am I making an emotional decision or am I making a logical decision? Am I making the right decision during this situation? How am I handling myself? How am I presenting myself? How are other people around me going to see me? Do they see me as someone that's in control, or do they see me as someone that's irrational or out of control? If we can learn to control this, if we can learn to take care of the situation, we have to look at each situation and embrace it. We have to be in control. I don't want people around me to see me losing. I don't want people around me to see me failing. But it's okay for them to see me in those situations if they see me recover and react the right way. Because the reality is they've failed, they've lost, they know what it's like. But if they can see you react the right way, how does that teach them? What do they learn from watching you handle that situation and become better and stronger from it? So I want you to, as you are out there and you're in a situation at work, you're dealing with these situations, I want you to stop and think the best way to handle this. And maybe right now for you, it's not making that split second decision. Maybe it's you got to step back and think about it. Step back and assess the situation. Sometimes we do that too in bigger situations, bigger problems. We'll step back from the job. We'll regroup in the war room, in the conference room. We'll sit down. We'll talk about, okay, we got this problem. How are we going to deal with this? What are we going to do different with this situation? How did we handle these problems before? Maybe this one's different. Maybe it's the same. But as we get together as a group with superintendents and project managers and our team and we talk about it, maybe there's something somebody in there saw that not everybody else saw. Maybe there's one piece we're missing to this whole situation that's going to fix it. That's why we do it as a team. Because some decisions, some things that you're going to handle, you need more people on your side. You need a team to help you get through that situation. You need a team to have your back. Now, you might be the leader. You might be the one making the calls, the shots on that project, that job, or wherever you're at. But you need to have the support of the people around you. If you don't have the support of the people around you, you're going to fail. And some of you out there might say, oh, the people around me don't respect me. Then you need to, well, we'll have another podcast on that one. You have to make sure the people around you respect you. You have to make sure you're always doing the right thing. You have to make sure you're the right leader for that situation. How are you performing to the best of your ability? How do you treat your team? If there's a problem, if there's a mistake, do you blame the people around you? Do you take accountability for it? I take accountability for everything that happens within my business, no matter who does it, because it's my business. Ultimately, I make the final decision. Because of me, these people are working for me. I might not have hired them directly, but indirectly I did. We have a process. We have an application that's the same. We have an interview process that is identical. We have an onboarding system. We have a week of training when they go out in the field. That's the same every single time. So if something doesn't work right, I'm going to know. But I'm going to make sure I did everything possible to make sure that we're put in the best case scenario to be able to handle whatever's happening on those projects. I want to be successful. I want my team to be successful. And you can't do it by yourself. So as you're out there, as you're working, I want you to start thinking about each situation on a job site, how you're handling yourself. How are you going to be successful? Are you going to let the pressure of the job affect you, take control of you? Are you going to quit? Say, I can't? Are you going to be weak? This isn't for weak people. This is for people that have the strength to get out there and do something different. I want people that are going to be in beast mode every single day. They're going to go out there and they're going to work their ass off. They're going to do what they need to do, and they're going to become better at it. And if you're one of the people out there saying, oh, I don't get paid enough, then I don't want you on my team. You're not the right person to fit in our team. I want people that are going to thrive and strive and become better every single day. I want the I cans. I want the me versus me's. I want the you versus you's. I want to be successful as a team. And remember, it is you versus you, not you versus me. I don't care who's doing what out there or what's happening in the world. I want to focus on what's right in front of me. I go to work, I'm going to focus on that job right in front of me. I don't want anything given to me. I'm going to earn everything I've got. And like I said earlier, if you were given everything, the house, the cars, the money, just handed to you, you'd never appreciate anything. You wouldn't know what it's like to struggle and earn for yourself. You wouldn't learn to appreciate what's been given to you. That's the struggle in life, being able to earn everything. And I guarantee at the end of the day, I appreciate every single thing I have. Every single thing I've earned. Things that are given to me, not so much. I appreciate them, but it doesn't have the same meaning, the same value as the things that I had to earn on my own. You know, guys, I really appreciate you liking and subscribing to this. I enjoy sitting here talking to you each week, telling you what I'm dealing with, what's going through my mind. This is very therapeutic for me. So I hope you guys appreciate it. If you do, like and subscribe, send me some comments. I'd love to communicate with you guys out there and see where everybody's coming from. Once again, thanks for joining me. Stay hungry.